What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Homie Hangout, where we help others move in excellence. And Flaco, William Vick, has been sentenced in Pima County, Arizona, for a whole bunch of charges. Right? Quick recap: just a couple years ago, at this point, I think it was 2023. Flaco's on the news. Right? He's on the news. They took a screenshot from like one of his lives or something, and they were looking for him because a couple people in his house got popped, right? Got hit with gunfire. So they were looking for him. There was all kinds of speculation, what happened, where'd he go, blah blah blah, and then turns out, he just went and kind of tucked out for a couple of days, got himself an attorney, and orchestrated turning himself in. So he turned himself in for that, um, and wound up bailing out eventually. Right, sat in jail for a little bit, not too long. Ultimately, wound up bailing out, and his claim was always that it was self defense. You know, so he bails out. We catch dope cases, right? Guns and drugs, over and over. Guns and drugs, guns and drugs. Bails out, guns and drugs. Sits down for a couple weeks, guns and drugs. Um, and all that stuff was accumulating, right? It was all adding up, and then finally, the last time was the last time, right? Eventually, they stopped letting you do that, and so they popped him, and it was like, you're gonna sit down until we figure this out, right? You got all these open cases now, and so he did, and he had always wanted to go and fight the shooting, right? They had offered him, I think he said 2 to 4 years earlier in this process, and he declined it. Uh, in hindsight, it probably was a pretty good deal, but he declined it because he always felt like he was justified in that situation, right? That it was self defense. He was in his own home. He didn't take things any further than he needed to, right? One shot went off. It happened to hit a couple people, but one shot went off. Uh, had the opportunity to end the dude's life, and decided not to, right? So wasn't really trying to seriously hurt anybody. He was just, sticking up for himself, right? Protecting himself. And so the problem is when cases stack up and cases stack up and cases stack up, and if they cross jurisdictions or anything like that, um, the DA comes and they're like, "Look, you got to take a global plea, right? You plead out to everything, or you fight everything." Uh, well, the guns and drug cases, you can't fight that, right? Let me turn my heater off. Uh, the guns and drug case, you can't fight, right? Because you're getting caught with bangers and dope. You you're stuck, right? And so which made these shootings a little more significant, or this shooting, a little more significant. And so ultimately, he had done a video a while back. It was pre-recorded, and he posted it on the day that he got sentenced, and said, I'm looking at 7.5 to 15, I think it was, per each of the gun cases. So what he winds up pleading out to, sorry, I've been sleeping for like 2 days, man. I'm still sick, but I'm just trying to get out content and stay in rhythm, right? So he winds up pleading out. I had done some videos before about the various charges that he had, the cases he was looking at, the time he was looking at. Every video that I've made about Flaco's situation has been spot on, right? When I talked about where he was housed and why he was housed there, everything has been spot on, and so ultimately winds up pleading out to is uh, two shooting charges, right? Assault with a deadly weapon, assault with serious bodily injury, I think it was, and then two dope cases, right? Drugs for sale. That's ultimately what he pleads to. So four charges altogether, two related to the shooting, two related to drugs, and so they come at him and they say, "Look, man, when you sign the deal, they give you your range of what you're looking at, and you got to go to sentencing to find out exactly what you get." I think he said the range on each one of the shooting charges was like 7.5 to 15, I think, and then the range on each one of the gun charges, or the drug charges, sorry, was I think 5 to 12, right? So this is the one time that I'm doing a video where I don't have the paperwork to back it up. Just to be quite honest, I know that he was sentenced, They have not made it available to view online. He has done some videos, and the word on the curb, okay? The word on the curb is he ultimately got sentenced to 15. My guess is he picked up the 7.5 on both of those shooting charges, right? They gave him the presumptive. So the what was expected was 7.5. My guess is they gave him the 7.5 to him on each of those, and then gave him 5, 6 years, whatever it may be, on the drug charges, and just ran those concurrent, right? So he's got 7.5 per shooting. That's 15, right? Those are ran consecutive. You do one, then you do the other. Concurrent is you're doing time for two different things at the same time. He, the drug cases, they give him 10 total, right? 5 on each, maybe, but ran concurrent. So ultimately 15 years, right? Is what it sounds like is what he got sentenced to. Figure I think you gotta do 85% of that in Arizona. So he be close to 60 years old, man. Close to 60 years old if he doesn't get in any trouble. Because he got a little time served in there and that kind of stuff. Um before before he comes home. And look, I'm not here to make fun of the dude. I have in the past, and he's talked his shit too, right? It goes both ways. I probably wouldn't be on YouTube if it wasn't for Flaco, right? I didn't even know this genre existed until he hits me up on Facebook like 2020, and it's like, hey, remember me? um, and and we kind of link up. He comes by my apartment and he's like, hey, I'm doing this YouTube stuff, man, with this dude Tony and stories written by a current prisoner. He hadn't started a convicts perspective yet. And I was like, man, that's kind of weird. What is that? And so then he starts ACP. If you read the description of the A Convicts Perspective channel, I wrote that, right? He's like, man, I got this dude Rojo, and we're gonna do this. And I was like, all right, bet. And Flacco put a lot of people on, right? Like that's kind of the 6 degrees of separation for the California prison genre. There not that there wasn't anybody doing it before him, but nobody's doing it quite like A Convicts Perspective did it, right? And I think it was a perfect storm. It was the virus. A lot of people were at home. A lot of people had a lot of money. And they blew up. They popped, and they opened up the doors for a lot of people, myself included, for sure. And time goes on, man, and shit happens, and it's unfortunate, right? I was saying, listening to his last couple videos, where he talks about himself, because he still has a channel. You guys go check out Converse Perspective, right? He still has his channel. Um, doesn't really get a lot of views. The audio's kind of rough, right? Because he's talking on the phone from jail, and I'm kind of curious to see what kind of access he has once he hits the Arizona Department of Corrections, right? And and if they might, you know, clamp down a little bit, right? In him running a whole fucking channel over the phone, but we'll see. I Listening to his videos, there's still not a lot of accountability, right? And I mean, it's not my business. It's his life. He do whatever the fuck he wants, right? There's this idea though that, like, I mean, I'm in a situation because I helped somebody, and brought him in, and look, 5 days later I have to pop him. Like, how ungrateful. And man, when I was out there doing it, I don't do anything on a small scale. If I'm gonna do it, I do it big, 65,000 pills or whatever. And it's like we just can't let that go, right? Just can't quite let that go. So I think he sounds healthier than he did before, but it's in there because of addiction. Addiction is powerful, and it will have you doing things that don't make any sense. It will have you believing a lie. And when you have a history of addiction, and then you fall back in that hole, you fall right to where you were last time you left off, right? You don't gradually crash and burn. You crash and burn. Um, and I think that's what we saw, and the YouTube stuff and the trolling and but I think more than that, it was just It's just the drugs. I think Flacco in his right mind could have navigated all that. You know, moving out of state was a horrible idea, and we were on talking terms when he did that. And I told him like, "Fuck, you gonna move out of state?" He's like, "Man, I got married. Why you get married? You you was just broke up with her like a week ago, and you made like this didn't really make sense." And I think it was looking for where to fit, right? Wanted to kind of fit somewhere. A lot of times when we lead a rough lifestyle and we get our head on straight, then we want to play catch up. You know, we want to get to where we think we should be at our age, regardless of the fact that our journey to reach that age didn't look the same as everybody else's necessarily. And it takes time. And I think the dude was doing good, man. The dude was doing good, and so and he, he talks in there. He doesn't say it in these words, but in essence, he's like, I could have told on people and Ben went home, but that was he kind of classifies it as personal when he snitched on those dudes before, but this is I don't know. I don't quite get it, right? But I mean I think there's a lot of people thankful that he didn't tell on them, right? Of course. I don't know what his time is like. I probably won't make any more videos about Flacco. I've shied away from it. Um, he got a little upset or whatever. And there was a misunderstanding, on a comment that I left. I don't care. I hope the best for him, you know. I I hope that he continues with his recovery, and obviously I hope that he's safe. He finds a way to navigate. The prison system, all kinds of prison systems are different than what they used to be. And my understanding, Arizona has like kind of their version of 50/50 yard, like integrated facilities they're working on and stuff. So I'm sure he'll be fine, right? I'm sure he'll be fine. Um, they'll find a place for him. He'll find a place where he fits, and it is what it is. Uh, it's just pride, man, pride and ego, and something to prove. Uh, Pride cometh before the fall, right? And I think that's what happened here. But his life is not over. You know, there there's still work to be done. There's still time to do that work. I hope that his relationships with people that are important to him get repaired, and he's able to cut the dead weight. You know, but there you have it, man. Like I said, I don't feel very good. This is just kind of a quick and easy video to do. I don't have the paperwork like I've done before. I've showed you guys the paperwork and stuff in Flacco's case, and with this one, it's not available online yet. And so um, this is the one time actually that I'm making a video, and I'm pretty sure that is accurate, right? I wouldn't come on here and say it if I didn't think so. But I don't have the receipts per se, just yet, right? But nonetheless, he's sentenced. He'll be off on his way at some point. He said the channel's going to continue. He's got interviews and stuff lined up with people, and so um, hopefully he finds a way to make that successful for him. Sure, every little bit helps. And yeah, man, there you have it. There you have it. Help others move with excellence. That's what homies do. Help yourself at the same time because you're worth it. Help your community because they need you. If you're struggling, man, get help. If you're struggling, get help. Is the best thing I can say. All right, folks, take care.